Show that the peak is also awaiting you. That the keys you were given were put to use. Okay. Right. Now we're getting to the part that people have kind of mentioned, and that I also knew was going to come. In chapter 5, which is the last chapter, by the way, I don't know if there's an epilogue, but it's the last actual chapter, we get to explain what had happened, or answer questions that the game poses us. I do believe, I don't know actually, but I do believe the game actually tells us the answers afterwards, but I would like to actually think about them for a bit. I don't know if I want to go like actually in depth and, you know, take like 10 hours to figure everything out. It's not really my kind of thing. Obviously the game kind of lends itself with this chapter to more so a playthrough where you go through it very quickly, and it's been almost a year since I've started the game. But still, we'll just do our best. We'll try to make some logical sense of it. We'll try to exclude some people. The problem with that is there's multiple versions of everyone, so I'm not sure we can, but we'll try our best. Okay, let me think. We're currently in the first timeline. We are in chapter 1, basically, or in the conclusion to chapter 1, where about somewhere... okay, this was afterwards, wasn't it? Wait. Yeah, this was after we've left the tower. How far do I have to go back up? Actually, let me go to this instead. Yeah, lobby. At 2100, I realized that Erina isn't next to us anymore. She runs to hallway B and tells us not to follow her. The lights go out at 2103. Hear Erina's strained voice. She says her finger's bleeding. Shutter hasn't unlocked. Sekimeiya is still in the cabinet. Security room is locked. 2110, I go to the lobby and fall to my knees in defeat. Okay. Can I see... What I actually want to see, really, is who's all dead in this timeline. That's some notes. Those were alternate endings, I think, that ended in deaths. Yeah, of the side chase. Oh, let's actually go back to that note. All right. Okay. Let me actually read through that again, because that was an interesting part. It was also of like an alternate path, where I remember that actually, where Atsuki was kind of back. Like, I don't know at what point, but people broke into Ashia Tower and they were kind of just trying to steal something or whatever. Let me read through that again. Just a summary. One of the event room, Atsuki touches the Sekimeiya and finds himself in the dark. Thanks to a faint light, he realizes he's in the lobby of Ashia Tower. While he's in hallway B, a robotic voice coming from the security room plays throughout the floor. Atsuki realizes it's not addressing him and he rushes to the staff room where he can't be recorded. After a very long wait in the dark, the lights suddenly turn on. Atsuki hears a sound in the hallway, and soon after, the door to the staff room is opened by a man carrying a black suitcase. The man pushes Atsuki against the wall, making him rapidly lose consciousness. Before Atsuki's world fades, he sees 4 people in front of him, all of whom he recognizes. 2 men, a woman, and a girl. Atsuki dies in a world devoid of sense. A frozen world that had defied a very important rule. Now, I wonder if that last sentence is saying that this is actually not something you can take anything from. This is not necessarily incoherent, but incompatible with the workings of the Sekimeiya. Or if it's just talking about the very important rule kind of being that you can't travel to the past or the future or something like that. More so in that sense. Back then I wrote down that I think the man with the black suitcase is very likely either Akuro or Kate, which I would assume is probably true, considering we now know that Akuro is part of Sin, and Kate had his own plans. Erina in Isla. Okay. But I don't think I can actually really gather anything from that. But Naomi's certainly dead in this. Akro is lost as far as we know. Sai is there, Erina is there, Isla's gone. Who else? Naomi's... Yeah, I said Naomi's dead. Shiraya's gone. And... who am I missing? Kate is dead. Okay, I think that's everyone. So... let's look at... wait, how do I actually... escape? Yep. Who could the voice belong to? In this timeline, presuming we are still in this first timeline that we've played through, Mia is dead. Wait, let me actually... I want to read through the voice again. What happened to the lights? This one here is a very Acro way of speaking. Or Atase, I guess, as we now know. It could be Kate as well. What happened to the lights? I don't think it's Shirya. Shirya wouldn't say it like that. No way Naomi would come back from the dead or something like that. Isla is a possibility. I don't know why she'd appear back. I think it's most likely Akaro, who's again just appeared out of nowhere and no one has a fucking clue how. Let me actually... where is the recorder? Can I... Recording. I actually want to look for it in chapter 1 though. Let me actually look for recording. Yeah, not that. Okay, yeah, this is it. Okay. So it was Akaro, Isla was there, Erina, Shiraya, and Sai. Okay, Akaro again, Shiraya, Sai. Let's record a place out of the door being... yeah. Where am I? Okay. So what I believe is that in a way could potentially be Isla. We'd just arrived at that point in the future. Traveling to the future from the moment where she disappeared from the cabinet. And that's why she's so confused. So I would like to exclude Isla from the characters that I think are possible to be the owners of that voice. What's gotten into you? What are you holding? Is she holding a knife? That feels like... the Erina, why aren't you doing anything? It kind of sounds to me like a way of saying you should be doing something. That to me would imply that she has something in her hand that she shouldn't be holding. In a bad way, not like, I don't know, she's got a chocolate bar. Erina, why aren't you doing it? She's probably got a knife. Interesting. They're all shocked. Would I really? Is there any way to actually... I mean, there's probably a way to actually figure out who it is without having to guess a little bit. I feel like I can talk as much as I want and think about it as much as I want. I'm not talking myself out of going for Akaro. Unless there's some jumping between timelines again, kinda want to go for Akaro. I guess we'll also just genuinely see what happens if we get it wrong, maybe. Oh, nice. I actually got it. Exactly. Akaro's return. That was what the voice signified. From here on out, you'll be able to submit your own answers for the mysteries of this story and show what you've solved. At the end, you'll have access to the total number of correct answers, but your performance won't influence the story. Best of luck. Akira, is that you?
Huh? Yes, where am I?
What the fuck do you mean? We haven't seen you in hours.
What? What time is it? We're still in the tower, right?
Of course we are, and it's past 9. The shutter didn't open.
Wait, what? That can't be.
Cut it out. Where the fuck have you been?
What does that mean? I just touched the Sekimeiya and appeared here.
Where? When did you touch it?
It was...
Spit it out. Was it after we escaped from the addict's bedroom? I don't even give a shit anymore.
Yes.
You son of a bitch, he punched me in the stomach. I was knocked out, and when I woke up, I couldn't even stand up straight.
I told him to tell me where he'd hidden the Sekimeiya since I knew he had it. I just touched it on the crystal floor and the lights went off.
Are you saying that you traveled forward in time? You're a fucking liar.
I'm not lying.
My mind was worn out, but what Akira was saying didn't make sense. I'd seen him earlier, before Shiryu had run up to the attic.
I don't care if you don't believe me. Just tell me what the fuck happened. Why are the lights off and where is everyone else?
You were gone for 6 hours. Do you think I'm gonna believe that nonsense? Kate died and God knows where Shiryu is.
Wait, what? Kate was killed?
Yes.
What about Isla?
Isla, you know what happened, right?
Yes, but she was here again.
Sai, why did you go quiet? You saw her as well. I don't know what happened. She was alive when we left the attic. We talked to her, but she didn't remember anything about what had happened. After this son of a bitch knocked me out, I wasn't able to find her again. What? You never said that. That means she's alive though. The recording was right. She'll be here. What recording?
Can you please answer what I said? Why are the lights off? There's no way it's 9.
Sai stabbed his wristwatch with one finger. It's 9:12, dumbass. And we don't know what happened. The lights went off just minutes before the shadow was gonna open, and we have no idea why.
It's not all that happened. The dead bodies disappeared too. It wasn't just the light. That was why Akira's story was unbelievable.
He traveled to the future. Was such a thing possible?
Even if it was, his appearance didn't make sense. Something had happened at 9 that had gone against the normal flow of time. I didn't think that Akira could have simply traveled forward in time to appear where we were. Wait a second, what the fuck are these clothes?
Huh?
I'm not wearing the clothes I was wearing before. What the fuck?
Speechless, we stepped over to his voice. Once I felt the texture of his shirt, I realized it wasn't the one he'd been wearing before. Ah, the Sekimeiya changed your clothes, is that right?
That's what happened, they just changed.
You're several galaxies out of your mind if you think we'll believe anything that you're saying. What the fuck is your goal?
Are they yours? These clothes? I think so. They're not the ones I had on though.
I had no idea what to believe. Had the Sekimeiya made Akira travel to the future? Had it swapped his clothing? I couldn't rule anything out as impossible, but it wasn't easy to trust him. If he was telling the truth, who had the Akira that I'd seen been? His existence had gradually gotten harder to comprehend.
You're really saying the shutter is still there? We're in hallway C, right?
Hugging the wall, Akira walked to the lobby.
It is. It really is still here. Is it actually after 9? What the fuck do we do then?
What the fuck do you think we can do? Nothing.
Despite being aware of another option for so long, something about their words was clearly flawed. There was another choice. We had the Sekimeiya. We could travel through time. According to Akira, he had traveled hours forward, so nothing said we couldn't escape the tower with it. The reason I hadn't explored that option yet was what Shiryu had said. Due to her, I wasn't sure that trying to escape from the Dark Tower was what I had to do. However, Sai and Akira weren't even discussing the Sekimeiya. Supposedly, Akira had just appeared and he hadn't even asked about its whereabouts. And you said Shiryu is gone? What happened to her?
We don't know. If you're not behind whatever just happened, it must be her. She ran away before the lights went out and said not to follow her. She should be somewhere.
Sai, you've reiterated that you know more about the Sekimeiya than us, and you haven't fundamentally denied what Akira said. Does that mean that traveling to the future is possible?
I don't know. Even if it was, would you really believe the nonsense he's spewing?
You're the one spewing nonsense. Why would the exit not unlock? One of you killed Kate, right? Who was it? And what, the bodies disappeared? Have you searched for them? We know the Sekimeiya doesn't make them vanish, right? Is it even in the cabinet?
Yes, and we were planning to search for the higher floors. We don't even know if the lights went off up there, but the elevator doesn't work and the security room is locked for some reason.
What? I'm really going to lose it. have no idea how I've gone through all of this without losing it already. Shut the fuck up. If you're telling the truth, we've been here twice as long as you. Let's just go up. We can hope there's still light somewhere. That put the discussion on pause. I couldn't believe my legs were still obeying me, but I proceeded up the stairs. Is there anything to find? Chiria? Maybe Isla? I had moved beyond taking things for granted. Once we went through the grey door, we saw that the darkness would likely persist. Did the lights really go out everywhere? Seems so. Even if there's something to find, there's no way we can find it. And if someone else is here, they're staying away from us on purpose. We should go all the way up first. We went around the floor without entering the partitions. Our steps echoed loudly in comparison to the more muffled corridors on the first floor. Gripping the handrail, we went up the stairs step by step. On the third floor, I wondered, would we be able to step into the attic? Perhaps Sai had a second key. The original one should have been in the inner keyhole, and it could have already been taken. We were all disheartened. Silently, we arrived on the 6th floor, but we could only know because we counted the stairwells. The door's unlocked. Sai opened the door to the attic, but we didn't see anything ahead of us. The key's still inserted here. It doesn't seem like there's light above, though. We stepped up the narrow staircase. At the top, we confirmed no light was on the final floor either. Fuck man, do we really have to stay in the dark? As if having light would be that much better. Hang on. I stepped forward toward the table. After fiddling with a cable, I pressed a switch. Oh, the lamp. It works, thank God. I wasn't sure if it functioned with electricity, but it should work anyway since only the lights are out. I looked at everyone and almost fell back. It took me a second to notice that the man behind Erina was Akuro. Not only were his clothes different, but also his hair. He was hardly recognizable. That is true. It did, like, when I looked at him, and I didn't know who he was for like half a second, until I was like, oh yeah, obviously Akuro, but he looks very different. Oh my god, the tip of my finger is cut. Look how much blood I'm losing. Erina looked inside her purse and brought out bandages. Grimacing from the sight of the blood, she covered her finger with them. The bedrooms had a lamp as well, right? Yes. Thanks to them, we were able to light up the bedrooms, and by opening the doors, the hallway, kitchen, and bathroom were slightly illuminated as well. 2 of those places contained a minor indication that shed light on their situation, but in a third one was the biggest clue.
Oh god, okay.
Okay, I have 6 options. No, wait. I have 5 options. The storeroom, the living room, the bathroom, the kitchen, and both bedrooms. Okay. We were able to light up the bedrooms, and by opening the doors, the hallway, kitchen, bathroom were slightly illuminated as well. 2 of those places contained a minor indication that shed light on the situation. But in a third one was the biggest clue. Okay. Where was the biggest clue? The storeroom. I didn't even know there was a storeroom in the attic. Like that was, well, you know, I say that. I think they've gone in like once or twice, but that was barely ever mentioned. Or at least not particularly relevant. The bathroom, the kitchen, the bedrooms, and the living room. I feel like it does say places. Contained a minor indication that shed light on the situation. Let me actually jump back to this just to look around. I don't think they do that, but let me just look around if there's anything significant. No. Let me look here as well, just to see the living room again. There is a suitcase there. I wonder... No one mentioned that suitcase. Now, the thing is, what I would presume this test at the end does is it kind of tests you on, you know, how much have you been paying attention, how much can you figure out. Not like we showed you a suitcase 2 screens or 2 frames ago. Did you see it? But I mean, it's hard to ignore. None of them mentioned it. The thing is, I don't really know what else would be a good indication for what the situation they were in is, because I don't necessarily know what the situation is. I don't know why necessarily they're still stuck in the tower after 9 p.m. Potentially it isn't 9 p.m. Potentially they're in an alternate timeline where the shower doesn't open. The shower? The shutter doesn't open at 9 p.m. Potentially something else. But I don't know. Why would the biggest clue be in the kitchen? Let me go through room by room and think about what happened in those rooms during most of the game. The living room is obviously a big point because two things. A, the suitcase is there, but B, also, you can see footsteps in the living room. You can't see them anywhere else. That might be an indication. I don't know for what necessarily, but I like the thought of that. The storeroom, literally have no clue what's in there. I don't know. The kitchen, potentially the source of all the knives that keep appearing in the hands of someone. But other than that, I can't really see much. Yeah, I don't really think there'd be much in the kitchen. And I don't think the knife would be, or a knife missing would be a big indication for the situation they're in. I don't think that would be relevant, even if it was the case. The bathroom, I don't think so. Like, we have had situations of the Sekimeiya being hidden in bathrooms, but I don't think that was ever in the attic. I think those were always on the ground floor or one of the sort of middle floors, never in the attic. And the bedrooms might have minor indications. There might be keys hidden somewhere. There might be clothes. I think those were the most relevant things happening in the bedrooms. Keys and clothes. And size magic tricks. Sometimes. Locked doors, handles missing. Stuff like that. But I think that potentially would have been mentioned. I kind of want to go for the living room anyway. I don't necessarily know what the biggest clue would be. But that's like what I feel is most likely to be relevant. Yes! I got it. It was the footprints. In the living room, Atsuki noticed that the footprints they just left were the only ones. It was very strange. Painter ones should have been there. He frowned and moved on. Okay, never mind. That was a minor clue. Damn it. Okay. Alright, well, I at least I got a room with a minor clue. I'll take that as half a point. What is the bigger clue? Another place held a much stronger clue. Then he saw that the inner hand... Yep, I mentioned that as well. Is that going to be the other minor clue? I mentioned that. I thought the footprints would be a more important clue than the handle, but okay. The inner handle of the right bedroom was unattached, like it had been minutes prior. Confused, he stepped out. That glass. There was a glass next to the sink. I recognized it. When I'd been with Shiria, I tried to drink tap water. It had tasted terrible though, and I put it away. After that time, I'd seen the glass again, but there was a major distinction between that glass and the one I was looking at. How am I supposed to remember that? I remember vaguely that such a scene happened. But like, okay. Fair enough. Specifically, it had since become empty. So, is he telling me he when he went to drink... Okay, I actually got to look this up. Does it specifically mention that he left the glass with something in it? That's the water tank. That's not relevant. Underwater. Bring a pool filled with water to... Oh, right, I see. Okay, you know what? I would like to argue that any sane person that would get some tap water into a glass, drink it, and realize it tastes terrible, would pour out the water into the sink before they put the glass down. It doesn't mention either way, but I would argue that I couldn't have known that he would just leave the water in the glass and put it down. Because, I mean, you do that if you want to drink from it again. If the water tastes terrible, why would you leave it in the glass? Not that I remember the scene. Not at all. It was like 2 sentences. Actually, it was slightly more. Okay, they did talk about it a bit. Alright, okay, fair enough. And also, of course, in the 6 hours that happened since then, no one could have just poured out the glass of water. I mean, okay, yeah, why would you? But still. Hey guys, come to the kitchen. Everyone entered. What do you want? Did any of you pour out the water in this glass? Okay. At least he asks. He did realize that's a possibility. I didn't. Everyone denied it with confusion. We still don't know if Shiria did it or anyone else who'd still been alive at that point, which I don't know who it would be. I left it here a few hours ago and it was filled with water. I don't think it moved either. You're saying that the water is gone? Yes. Sai frowned. What, did it evaporate then? Water evaporates at any temperature, doesn't it? Atsuki, we're indoors, the air isn't moving, and it's not hot at all. It could take a month for the water in a glass to evaporate. A month? Yes. I silently stared back at Sai, wondering if he was thinking what I was. What, do you think we traveled into the future? A month into the future? Beside me, Erina's eyes were wide. Could that have been the truth behind the recording's prediction? Sai, is traveling to the future possible? It is, I'm pretty sure. And you said something happened before the lights went out, right? I didn't see it, but could we have traveled forward right as Shiria ran away? A month into the future? The Sekimeiya couldn't have had enough energy to make that happen, right? But there are no other footprints in the living room. The ones we left just a while ago should be visible. And there's no way we went to the past because the handle in the right bedroom is on the floor. You think the shadow would still be in place after a month? Well, it is. I take your point. Everyone was deep in thought, seriously entertaining the possibility I was presenting. There are plenty of things unaccounted for. Who activated this future travel and why? Why did we go so far into the future? Why are the lights off? What was the flash Erin and I saw, and why did it not feel like we traveled? We didn't change places, did we? Sai was right. If we were in the future, all of those questions had to be answered. However, others would be resolved. Spending a month in a tower without any source of food was no longer necessarily a problem. Acro, do you want to change up your account a little? No, I don't know where we are, but it's where I appeared after touching the Sekimeiya you had hidden. Ah, right. Well, there's nothing else in the attic. No matter what's happening, we should just stay somewhere. We can't do anything else. Yeah, let's go shack up somewhere for a few dozen more hours, just in case the shutter opens someday. Who knows if Shiria is going to send us another month forward a minute before they unlock though. I'm starving, by the way. Think I'll pass out any time now. Before anyone could reply, Sai departed to the living room. He was followed by everyone but me. If something like that is what happened, Shiria knew about it. She didn't say anything about it, only that she'd meant everything she'd said. How could she have even known we'd end up in this situation? If it was her who made this happen, then why and how? Is it really possible that we're in the future? There's not even a guarantee we're 1 month forward. We could have gone a year into the future. No point after the water evaporated can be concretely determined. And the security room is locked, so we can't see the date on the computer. Is this what Shiria wanted? Did she want this to happen for a reason? Everything she said in hallway C, she already knew about this. I bit my lip as I walked to the right bedroom. The inner handle was in the hallway and the sheets were messy. What happened to the real Shiria? To the one who went to the bathroom? Did she touch the Sekimeiya in a water tank? If so, where is she now? Could she eventually have become the other Shiria? It was the most frustrating thing in the world. However, though I despised the thought of them, Shiria's final words were kindling a bit of hope within me. How the hell would we even have traveled to the future? Sai said it's possible, and I doubt he was lying. Is it random, like the replicated location? I suppose it can't be random if someone made us travel forward in time deliberately, but what exactly caused it? I lay on the bed. I was exhausted, and my parched throat demanded a drink. An urge I knew wouldn't relent anytime soon. Why did we have to step into the tower in the first place? I didn't have the will to push that thought away anymore. The door opened a few minutes later. I looked over and saw everyone coming in from the hallway. They seemed just as tired as me as they stepped in slowly. Closing the door would have trapped us in, so they left it open. Acro sat on the bed, making a deep noise. Huh? Well, what do we do now? What do you want to do? We might have been here for more than a month and the exit's not open. Unless you want to take down the shutter by hand, we can only keep waiting. This conversation. I don't get it. What the hell happened? I should just abandon our own building with us inside. And we thought we'd be free after 12 hours. This is the recording. A tingling dread began at the tips of my fingers and warmed its way deeper inward. I glanced at Erina and she looked like no more than a ghost. Atsuki, what are you thinking about? Do you have any more ideas? And hey, Erina, what's with that face? Enter Isla. What, not going to answer? Before we even heard the sound, Erin and I turned to the door. Then it opened further, followed by gasps. Isla, what the hell? From the door, Isla looked at all of us. She seemed to be searching for something. Oh, she's got the recorder in her hands. Ah. Okay, that makes a lot more sense, yeah. However, she paid no mind to our perplexed faces and kept scanning the room. Hey, answer us. What are you looking at? Where am I? What do you mean? We're still in Ashia Tower. Do you not remember? No, I know. What I mean is, what happened to me? Where am I? What? No, I should be. Out of nowhere, she staggered forward and began to cry painfully. Isla, what's gotten into you? What are you holding? And Erina, why aren't you doing anything? She'd pushed the door with both hands and her left was holding a device, one that I'd seen before. She twitched as she gripped it tightly, sobbing uncontrollably. Isla. Almost afraid she would disappear, Erina tentatively approached her. Realizing that she was corporeal, she embraced her daughter as she fell to her knees. Then, on the floor, both of them cried. The recording. It had always been genuine. I finally understood its context, but even that understanding brought an immense number of questions along with it. Isla, where were you? What have you been doing? Through her sobs, she managed to repeat her question. What happened to me? What do you mean? You should be the one answering that. No, not to me, to Isla. Why isn't she here? Everyone was speechless. However, I knew that wasn't the Isla the others were thinking of. Her friend. Do you mean to your friend? She gave me an intense look and nodded. Then, when she saw I couldn't answer, her face broke even further, and she buried it in Erina's chest. This is the friend we were told about. She's searching for the Isla we knew. I have no idea how this came to happen, but this Isla is the person that my Isla mentioned. Their sobs continued for a long time. Although they weren't understood, nobody could interrupt them. But as soon as they began to peter out, Sai spoke. Isla, this is very important. What day is it? Do you know that? She looked up at him and managed to muster a date. Oh no. Right. Oh god. Okay. How would I know? Right. This is Isla's friend. We believe Isla's friend was... Okay, let me check something. Okay. I somehow entered full screen. I don't know what I did. I must have pressed... Oh, I pressed Shift F to capitalize the F in friend. Great. Okay. Apparently Shift F brings you into full screen. Of course, I want to search at chapter 1. Okay, because I was told everything's going to be fine. Yeah. Her friend. A few weeks ago, she started talking about this friend of hers. What I want to find out here is if Isla ever mentioned her friend disappearing at some stage. Because I think that would be when, you know, if that's what happened at some point, which I don't remember, that would be the date we're looking for. There's so many matches. It's a secret, yeah. Have fun with her friend. Uh-huh. Didn't say a lot about it. Only 7 people get trapped. Be me, mom, 3 boys, and 2 girls, and they wouldn't be bad people. This is very difficult. Can't even tell which one is the one I've got selected. Presumably the one on top. Yeah. Isla's friend didn't know how things would end. But still... Still, if she knew that this would happen, but she didn't know how things would end, she must have traveled to the past from December 15th. Must have. The question is, when did she arrive back here? Because that could be confusing. Because, like, even assuming you're Isla's friend, so Isla of the alternate timeline, assume you travel back from the 15th to the past, you would consider that the new date. So if at some point between you traveling back to the past and you traveling back to the future again, you would travel to the future again. That date is what you'd say, not December 15th, even if you had once experienced December 15th already. That is my main problem. Mind telling us the identity of your friend now? She's waiting for me outside and I don't want to leave her alone for long. Christmas is in 10 days. Promised we'd spend it together. She's waiting outside. Yep. Past can't be changed, which is suggesting that Isla met her own self who traveled from the future. They kept her existence hidden from you. Yeah. Uh-huh. How many more do we have? Like 9. Okay, these are not talking about Isla anymore. Okay. So none of the rest is about Isla. So the only other thing we can check is the next chapter that only has 9 lines about it. So we're probably not getting anything. Okay. I think... I'm not sure if this is correct. I don't know the right answer. The only logical answer I can come to is December 15th, 2011. Because that would be the point of time from which Isla traveled back. I don't know. Wait, so weird American dates. Month first, so that's 12/15, 2011. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, it may very well be a different date, but it's not like I even have another option where I could reasonably say, okay, I think it's that. I don't have an alternative, so I'm gonna have to go for that. And I can't really figure out a way to find out without like rereading the whole game, and even then I'm not sure I would. January 5th of 2012. Okay. How exactly would I figure that out? January 5th of 2012. Oh, chapter 3 or 4? Chapter 4, I believe. Wasn't it? No, it was about Kyuka. No, it was chapter 3. Towards the end of it, right? Or was it chapter 4? It was chapter 4. I think. Where should I figure? Wait, let me actually check choice. Get rid of that. That's the only choice here? Oh, right. None choice. This is it. Let me read through. Ah, there it is. Ah, yep. Okay. Wait, let me read through that again. Where were we? Before I could say anything, I rushed off to Hoist. Please don't follow me. Yep. Okay. Yeah, whatever. That's all fine. What had happened after I traveled didn't matter anymore. As long as I stayed with Atsuki, we'd be together at 9. You said you traveled to the 30th of November and that a few days later you touched the Sekimeiya Tower. That's wrong, I know what happened to you. You didn't go to November, you went to the future. I don't know why you think that, but I believe you went to the future. You said that you entered the tower in early December. I believe that was the 5th of January instead. Okay. Okay, it straight up says the recording was real on the 5th of January we were in the tower. That's why when you touched the Sekimeiya, I appeared with you in the lobby. Okay. Alright. So the clue to that actually wasn't anything about Isla at all, or her friend in quotation marks. The clue was literally just this sentence. Without this sentence, there's no way you can figure that out. Because 5th. Wait, it's right there. Why can it? Oh, right. not filter by choice, check all. Wait, does it? Okay, it mentions okay, that's a bit unfortunate. Can I do this? Bad search engine. Okay. But yeah, I think that's like the only conversation that date specifically ever comes up. Wait, let me check. From the 15th, it's 3 weeks into the future. Yeah, so like you can definitely realize that you're in you're in the future at this stage, but the specific date, you need that line of text, I believe. Tell me if I'm wrong about it. What about Shirya? Is she here? Shirya, we don't know where she is. You? Should she be here? After a long pause, Isla nodded faintly. Sweeney, how did you get here? Why do you have that in your hands? With her wet eyes, Isla looked at the device she was holding. It was the one that had played the recording. Of course that meant the conversation in the bedroom had just been recorded. I saw him hiding it in the living room. Everyone looked at Sai, who smiled playfully. So she did. I actually found that in the security room a while ago. I didn't know what it was for until I found something else. A bug Atsuki had hidden in the pocket of a coat inside a locker. Wait, what? I didn't hide that. It was already there. How did you even open that locker? The key was in the cleaning room. Really? Well, unfortunately, I found the bug late into the day, but I figured the device I'd found earlier could receive its audio. I thought this was a good occasion to use it. What with Akuro's story being questionable as hell? His clothes changed and he was out of the tower for a long time. That's why I just placed the bug on him and started recording. I wanted to know if he had a way to exit the building. What? Where is it? Calm down. Did you really not realize it? It's behind your neck. To be honest, I was also curious about something else. I've still got no explanation for a lot of things that occurred, and I've thought for a while that one of us might travel far to the past to carry out their plan. If that person happened to be Akuro, I hoped that when I pressed the play button, 2 recordings would show up at once. That would have immediately exposed him, but it didn't happen. I suppose that doesn't matter anymore since he's aware of the bug. After frantically feeling his neck, Akuro was able to remove it. I see. So this is how the conversation was recorded. But why did Isla have it on the morning of the 15th? Is it going to travel to the past? While Erina's trembling hand stroked Isla's hair, she noticed something other than the recorder. What are you hiding, sweetie? Erina's voice sounded concerned, and I knew why. Isla's right hand was a fist. She was holding something. Actually, wait a second. I'm confused. Back to the date. Why does Isla know it's the 5th of January? I just realized that. Like, obviously it is because they're recording and... wait, but also... Atsuki only knows it's the 5th of January in Chapter 3 because Isla tells him. Now this kind of goes in a circle there. So, the only reason... but the question is... It's a fun way of doing things. The question isn't that I had to answer, isn't what date is it? It's what date is Isla going to say it is. We don't know it's the 5th of January. We don't. Could be the 12th of January, could be the 17th, could be the 15th of December. We don't know. But Isla said it's the 5th of January for whatever reason. And we knew she would because we learned that in Chapter 3 because Atsuki told us she did. Okay, I like that. She shook her head in fear. Come on, open it. What do you have there? So I still don't necessarily know why Isla said it's the 5th of January. Erina told us about it. During the 2 weeks before the event, Isla had sometimes hidden something in her fist. It appeared that had been Isla's friend who still refused to open her hand. However, Isla's remaining strength was negligible. Erina gently forced her hand open until we saw her palm. Wet from her tears, her fingertip had a burn. What is this? I don't know, but it doesn't hurt. Did you get burnt? When? When touching the Sekimeiya. Isla didn't reply. It didn't seem like she was sure. Isla, I believe that it's January 5th, but please tell us why you're here. What happened to you? It was clear nobody wanted to question why she was alive. No matter the answer, it had to be the Sekimeiya's doing. I followed her steps. Her steps? There was a hidden door outside. That's how I entered the storeroom. Wait, what? Is that door open? No, it's closed. Before she could finish, Sai and Akro ran out of the room. Then even Erina hurried to pick Isla up and leave. They were all going straight to the door to see if they could open it. Once again, I was the only one left behind, trying to get to a final thought. Isla followed her steps, and she thought Shiria had to be here. Does that mean Shiria recently entered from the storeroom? Wait a second. I might understand our misconception. Somehow we traveled days into the future and the shutter was still here. That's what led us to think it had never opened. That's not it though. It must have opened minutes after we vanished from the 15th. Long after that, it was closed again. That's why the security room is locked and the elevator isn't working. Those are the alarm's effects. We are trapped for a second time. That's why the corpses are gone. This means the exit should still unlock within 12 hours. Will it be that easy? Will we be allowed to leave this time? Is it because Shiria entered the tower on the 15th? On the 5th of January? Why are the lights off though? Why was nobody in the security room? Why was the attic unlocked? And why was the alarm activated again? Why did we travel days into the future? Why didn't it feel like we traveled? Why did Shiria enter the tower on January 5th? We arrived on this day when, from our point of view, the lights went off. The alarm must have been activated before then, so it felt as if the shutter never withdrew. When? What's the deadline this time? And was it Shiria? Whoever it was must have been here recently. Someone had to be here. Oh, I know when it happened. Can't believe I didn't realize it, but it must have happened immediately before our arrival on this day. Someone had been there right as the group had appeared on January 5th. Atsuki knew that thanks to the last time he'd been in.
Someone was there right before they appeared.
The last time they were in the lobby. I will go back to check what it said, because I think this time I can figure that out actually. But I will first off think about it, because that wasn't too long ago. The last time they were in the lobby. Let me retrace what happened. Atsuki and... Well, Atsuki, Sai and Erina essentially were in the lobby. Shiria left beforehand and afterwards they met Akuro. In the lobby, did anything strange happen? The flash happened. But Atsuki didn't see that. I mean... in a very strange way. What if they traveled? This is so ridiculous. It's not true, but I thought of it and I want to say it. What if the flash happened, but because they traveled in the exact moment of time before the speed of light hit Atsuki, and that's why he didn't see it. That's so stupid. It's like you have less than like a millisecond of a time frame there. And I don't think it was specifically timed to happen that. It's not the case. What was in the crystal floor hallways? What was even the question? Someone had been there right as the group had appeared on January 5th. Atsuki knew that thanks to the last time he'd been in the event room. What happened in the event room? Let me actually check. What do we have? Okay, we have 2 notes here. That's not happening. Let me see. Event room. Okay. Event room. Nope. Okay, never mind. Let me go back. How far do I have to go back? All the way to the beginning? Yeah. The lights had gone out, so I followed their example. I entered the crystal room. Although I knew its walls were stained dark, I couldn't differentiate them from the rest. I stepped to the cabinet where Isla rested and reached my hand inside. She wasn't there. There, now went to the mechanical room. That's all fine. That doesn't really matter. They didn't go to the event room, did they? Or that was Akuro. Okay, yeah, that's all fine. They're still in the hallways there. They didn't go to the event room. They just didn't. I mean, the last time he was in the event room would be like ages ago, which is annoying because that's definitely a possibility. But it wouldn't be in this time necessarily. What was the other option? The attic. It can't be the attic. Someone had been there right as the group had appeared on January 5th. Atsuki knew that, thanks. It can't be the attic because there were no footsteps. It has to be the lobby, right? Or the crystal floor hallways. It's one of the two, I'm pretty sure, but I can't figure out why, so I can't figure out which one it is necessarily. What do we go with? Was there anything significant about the lobby? I don't think so, but there wasn't really much significant about the crystal floor hallways either. Didn't go to the event room. I'm guessing here. I'm absolutely guessing. I can't decide on what to guess. I want to say it's the lobby. But no, it wouldn't be, would it? The thing is, the logic behind the lobby is that that's where the travel happened. So that's where you notice a change immediately, like it's the most likely thing for a change to be noticed. The floor hallways, though. Nothing was so unusual about it. I want to say the lobby. Not the lobby. Damn it. When did you go to the event room? I'm so overwhelmed that I didn't notice it when I went to the event room. The room was cold. Had Shiria run to get the Sekimeiya? Carefully walked to the cabinet, moved aside the curtain and tried to open the glass. Was that there? No, it wasn't. Oh, it's a choice. No, I did filter it by all. And that wasn't a nut. Yeah, that has nothing to do with it. It wasn't in chapter 1. It was in chapter 1, but... okay. No, I got confused. Or did I? Wait, that would... 1 second. Okay. I had been confused about something. The thing is, I thought they traveled with chapter 5. That's not true. They traveled before then. They traveled at the end, or like somewhere in chapter 1 at the end, towards the end. So by the time it was 2105, they had already traveled. I don't know what point exactly, but everything after that is already in the future. So he did go to the event room back then. I had that slightly wrong in my head. That makes sense. It should have been locked, but it wasn't. The glass was partially open and I could put my hand inside. I felt the Sekimeiya surface and confirmed it was still there. I only realized the Sekimeiya was in the cabinet when I felt it. That means that it wasn't glowing. Although it was kept cold, the Sekimeiya was powered off. It had been used moments prior. How can it be that it was powered off within the cabinet? When the cold hit it, it always regained its glow immediately. The glass was partly open, cooling down the whole room. Was it due to that single detail? Or was it something else? If I'm not mistaken, the longer the travel, the longer the Sekimeiya spends powered off. I'd been under the impression that using the Sekimeiya would be futile. I hadn't known that the shutter wouldn't be there in the past, so I'd figured traveling through time would only make a bigger mess of things. I didn't know what I had to do in order to travel forward in time, but if I simply traveled enough time back to appear before our arrival, I could meet the person who had secretly trapped us in January. Wait, I was thinking of something else again. Let me read. Yeah, okay. Yes, that is true. Yeah, he could travel back in time to meet the person who activated the Sekimeiya there. I walked out of the bedroom. The attic was empty as everyone had gone down. I left through the staircase and went around the 6th floor by hugging the right wall. Attentively walking through the darkness, I reached the crystal floor. I heard knocks and voices coming from the storeroom. It appeared Isla hadn't thought to keep the door open. Perhaps she hadn't been aware of the missing handle. Without making a sound, I slowly tiptoed to the event room. The air was still cold, and when I raised the curtain, the Sekimeiya's glow appeared before me. It's still here. I'm a little surprised. The glass wasn't closed, so I could reach it easily. Without directly touching it, I took the Sekimeiya out. I just want to go a little while back. It should be simple. This room is very cold, though, so it might not be a good idea to stay here if I want the Sekimeiya to gather energy. I walked to the hallway and entered room B5, which wasn't in range of the lower temperature. Then I left the gemstone on the floor. With how dark it is, even if the others search for me, I'll be hard to find. The lights went off when Sai's watch read 2103. I need to arrive before that point, and now his watch must say almost 2120. I need to leave the Sekimeiya here. Huh. Alright. I mean, the thing is, too long is not a problem, is it? Okay. The lights went off when Sai's watch read 2103. I need to arrive before that point. Now his watch must say almost 2120. I need to leave the Sekimeiya here for approximately how long? I mean, logically speaking, anything over... Wait. No, never mind. I'm being stupid. The Sekimeiya stores up more time than it will take you back. But you have to consider that while you're leaving it there, the time is obviously continuing. So let's say you leave it there for 10 minutes. It would then be 21:30 and you would want to go 27 minutes into the past. That's not happening. Can I look for like how far? It looks for both. Wait, previous. How far I was going. That's not what I want. I want how far did you travel back? What about travel? 463. No, thank you. Back? Ugh. Time. It's even worse. Wait, okay, never mind. Give me that. How far are we from uncovering? How far back you'd gone? Okay. I don't think it mentions how long here. Neither there. Wait, leaving the Sekimeiya out of the cabin at 15 minutes resulted in 20 minutes traveled. We'll take that at face value. 15 minutes results in 20. Oops. So, 15 minutes would be 21:35. That's not long enough. 20 minutes. Assuming, okay, so 15 to 20, it adds 1/3. So for 20, it would add about 7 minutes. So if it's 21:40, I mean that, okay, now we have a problem. Because it wouldn't add, he needs to arrive before that point. Okay, this is now where it actually pisses me off. Not seriously, but like questions like these in like math exams are the worst. Because purely on interpretation. If it depends, like if we take 15 minutes gets you 20 minutes, literally to the point where we're like, that's absolute truth. Then it would add 1/3 of the time to it, which would mean that for 20 minutes, it would add 6 minutes and, 6.6 recurring, which is 6 minutes and 40 seconds. If we take 26 minutes and 40 seconds off of 21:40, wait, I'm being stupid. That's not, yeah, forget about it. I can't math. 25 minutes would add, like 8 and a bit, 8 minutes, 20. Also nowhere near enough. 35 minutes would add 11 minutes, 40? Yes, 11 minutes, 40. So that would make it 46 minutes, 40. At 21:55, that also wouldn't be enough then. So the assumption must be wrong. It can't be that it just adds 1/3 to it. But if that's not true, then I don't know what we're really gonna do. I'm gonna say 35 minutes. But it doesn't matter if it's too much, Atsuki. Okay. I'd say for about 25 minutes, so that at 21:45 I can travel 45 minutes back. I think that is it based on all the travels and especially everything that I just learned. I disagree, but go on. I don't have a way to measure the time by myself though. I can't measure the real time, but I might have a way to measure minutes. The security room is locked, so I don't think there's anything on the crystal floor that isn't Sai's watch. There are a bunch of computers on the office floors, but I need access information to look at the time. I can only think of the kitchen in the attic. The refrigerator was working, so the oven should be too. There's still electricity, so I should be able to count the minutes that pass with that. Faint voices were still coming from the storeroom, like before I ascended the stairs without making noise. I arrived at the kitchen and kneeled in front of the oven. When I pressed the on button, a round light lit up red. I set the lowest possible temperature and rotated the timer toward 22 minutes. Immediately, a quiet buzz indicated that it had begun to count down. I closed the door and walked back to the bedroom where I lay on the same bed. Unless the Sekimeiya found this should work. I'll come across whoever set this up, and most importantly, I'll appear before the alarm does anything. Was I going against Chire's wishes? I couldn't care anymore. If it was her, I needed to know why she'd done everything. I didn't let myself fall asleep. A number of minutes had passed and nobody had come back up. I walked to the kitchen. Less than 2 minutes remained on the timer. In front of the oven, I watched the indicator rotate until it finished with a beep. I can go now. I pressed the off button and went down the stairs. 2 floors down, I stopped abruptly. The group was coming upstairs. I took a step aside and hushed my breathing. Unaware that I was there, they passed by and walked up silently. Once the sounds of their movement had faded, I kept going down. What do you mean the group? What are you talking about? Group was coming upstairs? Aren't they locked in the bedroom in the attic? What do you mean the group were coming up the stairs? I'm so confused. Wait. No, I don't get that part. Sekimeiya was still behind room B5's door. I felt it through my sleeve and instantly determined that it had built up considerable energy. I had to quickly withdraw my hand to avoid harm. This should be enough, but I wonder if it'll work as I want it to. 25 minutes must have passed since I'd taken it out of the cabinet. Without hesitation, I rapidly forced my hand through the wall of heat until I contacted the smooth stone. And that's where we'll end this episode of the Sekimeiya Spun Glass. Thanks for watching. Feel free to, for any of these mysteries that we've already solved, because obviously, usually no spoilers, of course, but for anything that we've now already gone past, and if it's not super relevant anymore in the future, feel free to explain to me what I missed and how I could have necessarily gotten it. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, how I could have gotten it. But yeah, I personally, I don't particularly care whether I get the questions right or not. Like, it doesn't hinder my enjoyment if I don't understand or if I can't figure it out. That's not where my enjoyment comes from. I'll happily try to think about it, and afterwards, if I'm wrong, let the game tell me what it actually was, and then try to figure out, okay, how could I have known that? Stuff like that. That's perfectly fine for me. So yeah, anyway, I hope you had fun watching. Thanks for doing so, and I'll see you guys again next time. Till then, bye.